What's going on, YouTube family? Chew Poppy outside, coming to you with a Halo movement tutorial video on how to perform the long slide. Now, some people do call it the super slide. I personally call it the long slide because I like to keep it simple, and plus it's just a longer version of what the short slide is, but personal preference, to each his own. Now, in this video, I will be showing you step by step on how to perform the long slide and what some of the differences are between the short slide and the long slide. I will also be showing you the places that I feel are most beneficial to perform the long slide here on Livefyre, along with showing you some of the do's and the don'ts of it as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Roll the intro.
They scared to come outside.
Alright, so before we get started, first and foremost, I do play on controller. For those of you who are curious, I am rocking the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller with all 4 paddles on the back. So all the settings that I'm going to show you on my movement thumbstick are based on my comfortability to perform these movement and slide mechanics. So let's get into it. So we're going to go to settings and we're going to go all the way down to movement thumbstick. Now, like I said, this is just my personal preference on what feels the most comfortable for me. Now, I have my center dead zone set to 1.5. I have my max input threshold set to 10, and I have my axial dead zone set to 1.5. Now, I know you may be saying, well, why do you have your center dead zone and your axial dead zone set so low? Okay, I personally like the more responsive feel with my in-game movements versus the higher dead zone feel, which all that does is reduces drift. Okay, now I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean the difference between more responsive and the higher drift? Okay, well, let's say for instance I bring my center dead zone all the way down to 0 and my axial dead zone all the way down to 0. Okay, now I don't know if you notice, but if you see, I have a slight drift, and I'm not even touching my controller, but you see the player is slightly drifting to the left. Okay, versus, so I like that responsiveness. So what I did was, all I did was just bring it up just enough to where I didn't have any drift, or if any, it's barely noticeable. So that's just what made me feel a little bit more comfortable with the in-game mechanics, you know, moving around and sliding. All right, so super simple. This is actually one of my favorite spots to perform the long slide here on Livefyre, from Nest all the way down to Green Bend. So all you want to make sure you're doing, you want to make sure you're holding sprint, or if you're toggle to sprint, same thing, as long as you're making sure that you're sprinting off of whatever ledge you plan on long sliding off of. You're sprinting off of that ledge, and right before you feel your character model touch the floor, you hold your crouch slide button and your analog stick forward, your movement analog stick forward. That way you use to have that forward momentum. Okay, so real simple. Hold sprint right before you touch the ground, slide, and I always like to throw a jump in there at the end just to kind of cover a little bit more ground. Okay, let me show you one more time. Coming back, and also quick tip. Whenever you're going off of the ledge, for the most part, the long slide should be silent. So you always want to make sure you're sliding before you feel this thud on the ground. So if you're sliding and you hear that thud, you've waited too late to do the long slide, and it will not activate how it should, because that long slide for the most part should be silent. And you also don't want to make sure you're trying to perform the long slide too fast, or this will happen. You'll just slide off the ledge just like that and end up doing the short slide, which I will show you in the next slide. One more time, all you're doing is making sure you're holding sprinting off the ledge right before you touch. Hold that slide, hold that crouch slide, boom. Real simple. And like I said, your long slide for the most part should always be silent. You really should never hear a sound while you're performing that long slide. I guess you can kind of think about it as a sound glitch or whatever it may be, but for the most part, you never hear sound when you're long sliding.
They scared to come outside.
that's all I got for you guys in this one. I certainly hope the video was beneficial to you. And by the way, I do stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/ChewPoppyOutside. I will leave that link in the description below if you want to come and chop it up with me live and direct. And definitely, if you found this video helpful, definitely leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, and also leave a comment down below. Did you like the video? Did you find this video helpful to help you improve your gameplay at all? If you did, definitely let me know what other videos I can make for you guys in the near future. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.